Now, let's take a look at what's happening overseas and the news. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has, for the first time, expressed willingness to negotiate a permanent ceasefire in Gaza during a proposed 60-day truce. The catch? Only if Hamas fully disarms and surrenders control. Let's bring in Greg Barton, Deakin University's Global Islamic Politics Chair. Professor, welcome. How can Israel be expected, though, to agree to a permanent ceasefire when Hamas refuses to disarm or release all the hostages unconditionally?
Good to join you, Caroline. That is the big question. Dealing with Hamas is obviously incredibly difficult. But that doesn't mean it's not possible. At this stage, the IDF controls 65% of the Gaza Strip, according to their own records, and about 85% of the buildings in the Gaza Strip are destroyed. Hamas is in a very, very weak position. So this is the time when something is possible, but it will require pressure. It will require pressure on Hamas. I think Donald Trump also thinks he needs to apply pressure in the polite negotiations with Prime Minister Netanyahu. Netanyahu arguably is also very difficult to negotiate with and has had his own reasons for not going earlier to push for a deal to get more hostages released. This is a really hard situation, but we are perhaps at a point now where we've come to the end of the road. There's not much more that Hamas can do. Israel clearly has the upper hand. Let's hope for everyone's sake we see a breakthrough.
Yeah, that would be great. Look, there's also been this extraordinary footage from the Red Sea this week showing the Houthis targeting and sinking 2 ships. This slick video was produced and released by the terrorists themselves. The attack was the first successful Houthi strike on commercial shipping in some 8 months. Greg, are you expecting more strikes?
Well, it's sad to say, Caroline, I am expecting more strikes for 2 reasons. One is the Houthis had held off for various strategic reasons on attacks. They've gone back to them now, and we can see what they can do. And of course, they are in many respects a proxy of Iran. They have their own autonomy, but the situation in Iran, I think, dictates pressure on the Houthis. They have weaponry that's very effective. The Americans have much better weaponry, but it literally costs them 1,000 times more than it costs the Houthis. And so the American campaign against the Houthis is not sustainable. In mid-March, they launched a campaign. They burnt through $1 billion in weapons in 3 weeks. They can't keep on doing that. The Houthis can keep on doing what they're doing, and there's the problem. That's why we should expect more attacks.
Okay, well, let's go to Russia now. And Moscow has launched its largest missile and drone assault on Kiev in months. Ukraine has pleaded for tougher Western sanctions. Greg, just quickly now, what do you think needs to happen here?
In a word, Patriot missiles. Ukraine has 6 Patriot batteries. It needs them resupplied with interceptors. That's the reason we're seeing more Russian strikes in Kiev, because their missiles, particularly ballistic missiles, which the Patriots can almost uniquely shoot down, those missiles are getting through. Thankfully, President Trump's called on Germany to hand over one of their remaining 9 Patriot batteries to Ukraine, giving them an extra one. That's promising, but that's really critical. That, along with American over-the-horizon intelligence, feeds back to Ukraine. The rest of it, the coalition of the willing, is in a position, that includes Australia, Japan, Canada, is in a position to really help, but those Patriots and that intelligence are critical.
Greg Barton, thank you very much for your time and insights tonight.